Welcome to our unit on comparing decimals by Daniela, Stephanie, and Rebecca. In this unit, students will learn how to compare two decimals to the thousands place based on the digits in each place using the greater than, less than, or equal to sign. In this classroom, there are 20 fifth grade students that are 10 or 11 years old. 100% of the students are English proficient, but come from varying cultural backgrounds. Many students in this class speak other languages at home and or are bilingual. In this classroom and in this school, there are drastic differences in the socioeconomic status of the students. About 15% of the students receive government support. 3 students have 504 plans and 1 student has an IEP. 5 students receive Tier 2 intervention, which is based on students being below the 25th percentile on MAP data. And 1 student receives Tier 3 intervention below the 10th percentile, but does not yet have an IEP. In this classroom, most of the parents are highly involved in students' learning and academics, as well as extracurricular activities. And many students come in with prior knowledge. The standards that will be assessed in this unit is 5 NBT A3B, compare two decimals to the thousands place based on the meanings of the digits in each place using the greater than, less than, or equal to symbols to record the results of comparisons. The 2 objectives that we have are that the students will be able to compare two decimals to the thousands place based on meanings of the digits in each place using greater than, less than, or equal to symbols to record the results of comparisons on a Google form with 85% accuracy, as well as the students will be able to compare two decimals to the thousands place based on meanings of the digits in each place using greater than, less than, or equal to symbols to record the results of comparisons by creating an end-of-unit formative video assessment with 100% accuracy. The teaching and learning strategy that we have picked is Robert Gaines' 9 events of instruction. We chose this approach for this unit because math is very formulaic and it follows a nice structure that would benefit all of the learners. The 9 events are to gain the attention of students, inform students of the objectives, simulate recall of prior learning, present the content, provide learning guidance, elicit performance, provide feedback, assess performance, and enhance retention and transfer. The technologies that we chose to use are the Money Pieces application and the Number Pieces application. Some additional technology that we chose to use are the Screen-O-Matic application, whiteboard application, Schoology, which is the school's LMS, Google Forms, Google Slides with the Pear Deck extension, videos on Khan Academy, and QR codes. Within the day-to-day, you will see how the events are brought into the lessons. On day 1, students will use Kagan engagement structures, Rally Robin, to connect comparing decimals to the real world, and that will help with event 1, gaining the attention of students. The learning objectives will be on the board and referred to throughout the entire unit. Event 2, inform students of the objectives. The whiteboard application will be used while students participate in Kagan engagement structures to review comparing fractions, converting fractions to decimals, and comparing whole numbers through the use of Kagan Showdown and numbered heads together. Event 3, simulate recall of prior knowledge. And students will complete a comparing fractions and converting fractions exit slip to assess their understanding of what was reviewed throughout the day. On day 2, students will be presented with the materials via a Google slideshow with the Pear Deck extension so that students can interact with the lesson. Event 4, present the content. The teacher will create an anchor chart with the class so that there is a visual reminder in the classroom of how to compare decimals. And a digital homework assignment will be given to students so that they can demonstrate their understanding of comparing decimals after the initial instruction has occurred. On day 3, students will be given a note card with a decimal number on it, and the class will have to line up in order from the smallest decimal to the largest decimal. The teacher will continue to present the material via the Google slideshow, scaffolding the lesson based on informal data collected to group students accordingly. Event 5, provide learning guidance. The teacher will demonstrate how to use the money pieces and number pieces applications on day 3, and the majority of the time on this day will be spent explaining how to use those apps. The students will end this lesson in rounds, and while students are in rounds and meeting with the teacher, they will be assessed via a checklist that will measure their mastery towards the objectives. On day 4, students will start the day in rounds so that the teacher can continue working with students independently. A handout will be given to students with a QR code for instructional videos for students to use both when they are working with their partners in their rounds activities, when they are working independently, or when they are at home working on homework. While the teacher is not with students, they will participate in activities and workplace games with a partner, and when the teacher is meeting with a student, they will collect formal data via a checklist. At the end of day 4, students will take a formal assessment in the form of a Google form, which it will measure their ability to compare decimals. Event 6, eliciting performance. On day 5, students will continue with rounds with their partners based on the data from the Google form. Students will use the number pieces and money pieces applications to complete their work. And the teacher will meet with students to provide feedback based off the student checklist in the Google form data. Event 7, provide remedial feedback. On day 6, students will be formally assessed on the standard by making a screencast-o-matic video that compares decimals using the number pieces or money pieces application. Students will post their videos to Schoology and comment on at least 2 other students' videos. Event 8, assessing performance. On day 7, students will be given feedback from the assessment and will fill out their pre- and post goal-setting pages to see how they have done throughout the entire unit. The teacher will intervene with students as needed. To conclude the unit, the teacher will pose the same question as they did at the beginning of the unit, asking students to compare decimals to their lives outside of school by sharing out using a round-robin Kagan structure. Event 9, enhancing retention and transfer of knowledge. The teacher will explain to students that comparing decimals is useful when buying groceries and using money in the real world. We have made some differentiation options for teachers as they are teaching this unit. For teachers that are looking for support for their students, we have talked about interactive anchor charts, and students will use interactive place value charts to visibly compare decimals. This could be used independently, with a partner, or in small group instruction with the teacher. Another support is visual support. Number lines and hundreds grids can be used for visual support for all learners, as well as the money pieces and number pieces application, which can be used as a visual support and a manipulative for students as they can physically move the money and number pieces on the apps as they are working with them. For enrichment, we are recommending a grocery shopping activity in which students will complete an online grocery shopping activity and fill out their carts to compare prices of items. Students will answer questions about their purchases and complete different calculations. So this would be for students that you are looking for more enrichment on. We have created some handouts. One of the handouts is a printout of the slideshow so students can use it at home if they need assistance with homework or during rounds with their peers. This is what the slideshow would look like as the teacher is presenting, and as you can see at the bottom, the Paradox extension is on it, and you can see that on this slide, students can drag the dot onto which fraction is larger. And on a slide like this, students can physically draw on it and put the fractions in order. Here, the student would rewrite these fractions as decimals by drawing on the slide. On a slide like this, students would move the two different colored triangles to place those numbers on the number line. Here they would draw on the grids, and here they could draw in the greater than, less than, or equal to sign. An additional handout that will be given out will be a handout that has QR codes in it that will take students to videos that will assist them in understanding the standard and how to use the presented applications. So in the handout, there are different QR codes, and each QR code takes the student to a different website or shows them how to use an application. This is beneficial for the students to use while they are in small group or at home or working independently. Our sample student artifacts include a video sample of the student's final formative video assessment. This is a demonstration of what is required of students for them to make at the end of the unit. The other sample student artifact is what the student results of the formative Google assessment results would look like. The conceptual categorization is modification. This unit is modification because the technology within this unit allows for significant task redefinition and redesign, and the student will manipulate decimals in order to visualize the comparisons. The use of Google Forms and the Paradoc extension allows for the teacher to provide students with immediate feedback, and the student-created videos are able to be rewatched later or shared with classmates who are having difficulty grasping the content. This stage in the technology not only enhances the learning of the activities within it, but it also significantly transforms the unit as a whole. For our summative evaluation, the teacher will collect informal data throughout the Paradoc Google Slides and rounds, and that data will be used to make instructional decisions prior to the summative assessment. The teacher will collect formal data through checklists when working with students, a Google form, exit slips, and homework. Students will complete an independent summative assessment in which they create a video that teaches other students how to compare decimals to the thousands place using the money pieces or number pieces application. The video will be assessed using a rubric to provide feedback to the students regarding their mastery of the standard. To assess the effectiveness of this unit design, students will complete exit slips after the activities in the unit. To assess the effectiveness of the unit's design, students will be given an end-of-unit opinion survey. Within the end-of-unit opinion survey, some questions that the students will be asked are, what is the most important thing you learned in this unit? What did you like about this unit? What would you change about this unit? Which activity helped you learn the most? Did the technology used help you learn how to compare decimals? The survey will allow the teacher to gauge how students felt about the unit, the ability to teach the concepts, and to plan for the future changes of the unit. Thank you for looking at our Comparing Decimals unit. We hope you enjoyed it.